Today, I'm going to show you how to use TVM solver technology to answer compound interest questions. You had this formula here from yesterday, and that's all well and good. But our level of maths that you're capable of doing, you're only going to be able to use this formula to find PV and FV. We don't do hard enough maths for you guys to rearrange and find what N or K is, or I. Okay, if you did methods, maybe that you would be able to. At our level, even up to year 12, we use TVM solver technology. Okay, to find anything else involved with that formula at the general maths level, we need to use an app called TVM solver. Most of you won't have a graphics calculator right now, so you're going to be using one of the ones attached to the lesson on DayMap. Have I already shown you that there's 3 options? Sage Calc is number 1. There's a FN calculator. You can look at that later. And then 3, there's a GeoGebra. Right now, no one's telling me that Sage Calc is not working, so I assume it's working. Now, this is a big one. I'll give you time to get this. Assuming you are using that TI-84 calculator through Sage Calc, can you open TVM Solver? There is an Apps button. Can you press the Apps button? I'll try to show that to you here. So how do you open? What I'll do is I'll split view and open this and then zoom. Okay, how do you open TVM Solver? Can you see the apps button on your calculator? I'll try to scroll it. There's an apps button, you press that. A little menu pops up that says finance. Press enter to select finance. Which of those options looks like it would be to do with TVM Solver? Freaking TVM Solver, so you enter that. And you can see a screen pops up. You need to use the next few minutes to explain to yourself, using this diagram here, what every one of those variables mean, okay? N is the total number of periods for the whole arrangement. So if something was compounding monthly and it was for 2 years, N would be 24. What does I% stand for? It's the interest rate. As a percentage, you don't have to convert. PV is the principal, like in your formula. PMT stands for the regular payment. At year 11 maths, we literally leave that at 0. Someone at SACE decided that at year 11 we don't deal with payments, PMT, but maybe for a non-recorded lesson, because a lot of you are working now, a lot of you have savings accounts, I'll show you how to deal with PMT because you can apply it to your life, all right? FV is the final value or the future value of the arrangement. So this is a big one for your cheat sheet to have this on there. Well, pretty much everything from today's lesson would be good to have you on cheat sheet. Yeah, question?
So with PMT, we just leave it at 0?
Leave it at 0 for any questions that I ask you in your test. Someone in SACE has decided we don't deal with PMT at year 11, but later when I'm not recording the lesson, I want us to do a real life example. Many of you work, and it's a cop-out to ignore PMT, okay? When you actually learn how to use this, it's not hard. It's just someone arbitrarily decided to say that year 11, the cutoff point is we don't deal with payments. The other thing is PY. What does PY stand for? It stands for the number of payments per year. CY is the number of compound periods per year. And again, someone at SACE decided that at year 11, both of these are always the same. In real life, they don't have to be. But at year 11 SACE, they stay the same. The only other thing to add to that window is you can see at the bottom of TVM Solver, you can see I'm moving around with the arrows on the left. At the bottom, PMT, you must keep it highlighted on end. Keep that end black. If you have this, if you have begin selected, you're going to get close to the right answer, but they're going to be wrong, okay? Keep it on end, and that's why it says it on these notes too. Keep this setting on end. I'll give you like a minute or so. Can you make sure you have that window there? Because there's another chunk explaining how to use TVM Solver to come up. Please have this. So yeah, in red, note down how to access TVM Solver. It's up there. Press Apps, Finance, TVM Solver. Also tell yourself what each variable means so I can show you how to use it. We'll do a realistic example after the lesson is done. Is anyone this year willing to tell me sort of a roundabouts how much they earn per week and we could pretend to be you? Yeah, okay, because we did you last. It's just going to be roundabouts. You don't have to be exact, okay? 30 seconds. Remember those lesson blanks are up on Daymap every day as well, if the writing is too much. The only thing missing from those is the examples that I do. Right, I'll move on. If you need to get that stuff down later, leave a space. Okay, one more big chunk and then the example. So what I'll do, I'll move that over so it's larger. How do I use TVM Solver? Firstly, you need to make sure you're dealing with compound interest. TVM Solver only works for compound interest. So please don't try to use it for anything else. TVM Solver is compound interest. Step 2, how do you use the app? You enter all the information you know from the question into those variables in TVM Solver. Now there's a trick to that. PV, PMT, FV. They're positive or negative depending on how the money is moving. So last year, and even my year 12s, I encouraged them to have this in their cheat sheet, a little drawing of the money moving to someone or moving away from someone. If your money is going into the bank, on TVM Solver, it's going to be negative. If the money is coming to you, the number is going to be positive. I'll pause here so that you can get down what you need up to that point. So again, how does it work? You put everything in that you know. And just make sure the signs for your numbers are the right positive or negative, depending on how the money moves. If it's going away from you, if you're putting money in the bank, it's negative. If the money is coming to you, it's positive. Now to add on to that, you can't just use the take button on the calculator. So let me show you that. This button here, under the times, that's the take. That's the subtract, okay? If you make your numbers on TVM Solver negative using that, it's going to freak out. It's going to say syntax error. It doesn't understand what you're saying. Can you see another minus on a button there somewhere? But it's in little brackets. Can you see where that is? It's next to the enter button here. That's how you make the numbers negative, okay? So if your calculator freaks out, that's a possibility. You might have used the take button to make it negative instead of this button here that I'm pressing right now. And basically, once you've entered all the other variables, you select the variable you're trying to find using the arrows. So what are the arrows? It's these on the right. You can see that I'm pressing them now. They're turning red. I move up to the thing that I'm trying to find out. And then I press alpha and enter, because above enter on your computer, what's the text that's in green on the red on the enter button? Can you see what says solve? So if you want it to solve your problem, you press alpha and you press enter to do it. Why is it freaking out? I don't have numbers in. It's all zero, okay? So right now that's a whirlwind, and that's fine. Because when you see how it's done, you're going to much prefer TVM Solver. This is a key here. How do I show working out with TVM Solver? Who's doing the maths if you're doing TVM Solver? Is it you or is it the calculator? It's the calculator. So how do you show you're working out? What you're going to do is write all the variables. You go N, you go I, you go PV, you go PMT, you go FV, PY, CY. You write all those out. You write what you wrote in for those, and you put a star next to the thing that you tried to solve for. Okay? Because if all you do is write the wrong answer, you're going to get 0 out of 3. If you show me you're working out, and I can see that you put one of the numbers in incorrectly, you'll get 2 out of 3. Okay? Don't take the risk of just putting your answer down and getting it wrong. Write all of the working out. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you pretty much now. Example. Sally invests $15,000 in an account paying 4.25% per annum, compounding monthly. Is it important that it's Sally? No one cares that it's Sally. I'm not going to highlight that. Is it important that she invested $15,000? Yes, it's a number. In the account paying 4.25%? Yes, that's important. Is it important that it's compounding monthly? Again, yes. Let's look at A. How much would her investment grow to in 5 years? So I'm going to demo how you do TVM Solver for this. What does my working out look like? You write N, you write I, you write PV, PMT, FV, PY, CY. You write the variables. Let's put in what we know. Leave N alone to start off with. What is the interest rate in this question? Do I need to convert it when I'm using TVM Solver? No, I just leave it. In I write 4.25. PV is the principal. What did Sally invest in the first place? But is that money, if Sally is investing that money, is it in her pocket or is it going into the bank? It's going in the bank. So you go negative 15,000 for PV because she put the money in the bank for it to grow. Does Sally's situation say anything about her putting regular payments into the account? All she's doing is putting 15,000 in the bank and leaving it for 5 years. So, like your note said, at year 11, PMT remains at 0. What is A asking me to do? How much would the investment grow to in 5 years? So I'm going to put a star next to FV because that's what I'm solving for. I've got 3 more things to fill out. Compounding monthly. How many compounding periods would there be in a year if it was compounding monthly? So CY is going to be 12. And we have previously said that in SACE, these two stay the same. So automatically PY is also 12. I've only got one more thing that I need to work out, which is N. How many times would that compound overall in 5 years? It's compounding 12 times a year, and I'm leaving it for 5 years. How many times would that compound?
60.
60. Now you've got a life hack here, because on the calculator, look, I can do maths on the calculator. I'm going to go 5 in N times by 12. You can do the maths there. See how it gave you 60 as well? Put everything else in, 4.25. PV, I'm going to use this button to make it negative. Negative 15, not negative 45, negative 15,000. Payments remain at 0. FV is what I'm trying to work out, so I leave it right now. PY is 12. Look at this. I've made PY 12. If I press enter, it's also going to make CY 12. Everyone wants it to be the same, but I'm telling you in real life, it doesn't have to be the same. Okay? I want to give you maths that you can use in real life situations. Sorry, I just had a heart attack and pressed the wrong button here. Because someone tell me, how do I find FV? How do I get down to FV? What do I press?
Down.
I need to go down to FV. Someone else, you're not the only person in this room, there's 31 of you. How do I solve for FV? How do I get the green solve there? Alpha. And enter. So what's that telling me? My answer is 18544.53 to 2 decimal points. Can someone explain to me why FV pops up as positive? Why is it positive?
So it's going to you?
Yeah. She put 15 grand in. That's why it was negative. It sat in the bank for 5 years. What's the bank going to give her at the end? $18,544.53. B, how much interest would she have earned on the investment? Well, interest is what it grew to minus what she started off with. So her money grew $3,544.53. Okay? I'll stop the recording there to give you time.